to welcome our students that have come down to join us today. It is a privilege and an honor to have Senator Gudger here with us at Hamilton High School. I can tell you from personal experience, he has been a great friend to Hamilton and Hamilton High School over the years. And so when we were offered the opportunity to have Senator Gudger come, I jumped at the opportunity, and I want to thank Dr. Sutton and the board for allowing us to host this. And at this time, I'm going to, well, let me just say this. If you are here, you're one of mine, one of my students, and you are 18, and you have not yet registered to vote, I can't think of a better day than for you to go up to the courthouse this afternoon when we get finished here and register to vote. That is one of the most awesome freedoms that we have in our country, is the right to elect our leaders, okay? And it's only a right, and it's only great if we actually participate and do that, okay, in the election process. So that's something that a lot of men and women have done to keep that right for you. They've shed their blood on foreign battlefields to let us allow us to have that right. So I would encourage you, all my kids, to make sure that you're getting out, you're registering to vote, and you are participating in our elections. Okay? You got that? You sure? All right, let's do it one more time. We're good? There we go. All right, at this time I'd like to ask Dr. Patrick Sutton to come up.
Thank you, Mr. Cantrell, and I appreciate him and his staff. And I did happen to think while he was talking that it's kind of neat. It's been a long time since I went on my senior trip, but it is neat that you all seniors are coming back off senior trip and all the things that you were able to see on that trip. And now you come and you hear from one of your leaders in the state of Alabama who's going to speak to you today. And so it does give you that reminder of how important it is that you participate in the process of electing leaders. It is a cherished right and a privilege, and I just encourage you to not only take advantage of that, but do your homework. Look at the candidate and study what you're actually voting for. And we are very thankful today to have Senator Garlan Gudger with us. As we get ready to bring him up, I do want to mention a few people that are really important today. And if I leave anybody out, somebody flag me down. I think I've got everybody, but we've got some really important folks. First, I want to just say thank you to your career coach here, Ms. Carmen Nichols, and also to Jennifer Nichols for helping bring this and put this together today. I appreciate them. The members of the Marion County Commission, and Keith Nichols from District 1, I think he's the one that actually communicated with Senator Gudger and brought him here today, and we appreciate that. And Mayor Tammy Williams, and I don't know for sure if there are any city council members here or not, but if there are, we appreciate them and her support and her work for the city of Hamilton. Members of the Board of Education that represent Hamilton, Joyce Fowler and Mark Deering are both here. We appreciate them for being here as well. Members of our central office team, Career Tech Department, Josh Weatherly and Benja Jackson. I do not have time to shield for the Marion County Career Academy, but it's going to be great. I'm really excited about that. I also want to mention Scott Hunt, who works with the Marion County Commission. I noticed he came in. We appreciate Scott. And also, I know that Principal Gary McCarley from Hamilton Elementary is here. I'm looking to see if Norman made it. I don't see Mr. Ballard. There he is, hiding back there in the back from Hamilton Middle. And I mentioned Mr. Cantrell's staff, and I know Assistant Principal Humphreys and some other folks are here with them as well. I also want to make sure and mention Police Chief Jordan Carter. We appreciate him and all the work that he does and being here today as well. Members of Senator Gudger's staff, and I notice Hilda Smith is here, and I don't know what all she does, but I know she does a lot in working around the school district and in the county, and also Brittany Bells, who is here today with Senator Gudger. He's got some security with him as well, and we appreciate him today. So if I left anybody out, please forgive me for doing that. Most importantly, though, I do want to welcome Senator Garlan Gudger. If you do not know exactly what he does, he is the Senate Pro Tem for the state of Alabama in the Alabama Senate. He has a long history of service to community and to the state, starting out as a city council member. At least that's what I know about 2004. When we visited Coleman recently, let me say this, I was just overwhelmed at listening to members of his community talk about the work that they have done together with his leadership in bringing Coleman to where they are. And then he turned around and made all of that accessible to our people from Marion County, brought us to Coleman. A lot of you were there, shared information with us, because he not only has a history of service, but he really wants to help. He really wants to help his district and our community as well, communities across our...
How is everyone? I saw that the superintendent had to say it 3 times to get a rise out of y'all. So how are y'all doing? Y'all good? One more time. Y'all good? All right. We appreciate y'all allowing me to come and talk, guys. It's always kind of, when I was your age, having somebody come and speak in the gym, and it was an elected official, they're like, what is this all about anyway? So I'm going to go ahead and tell you so we can have a little bit of fun while we talk, but you'll understand why we're all here, okay? So part of this is about leadership, about youth leadership, and about where this community can be going because of you. And sometimes you're like, well, I'm young. I can't be an elected official as of right now. I can't be, the important groups that's making decisions for your communities. You can in your own realm. What makes a difference is when you make a difference and you know you want to make a difference in the environment in which you live in, right? So I can't come back to your high school and go to your classes. I can't go to basketball practice afterwards and be with a group of guys or the group of girls or softball or swim team or whatever it might be because I'm not your age. The thing about it is that being your age, you can still be a leader where you are sitting in that seat today. The one thing that has been interesting to me to find is when young people want to do something that's bigger than themselves. And have you ever been at home at night, you're turning the lights out to go to bed, you put your head on the pillow, and you just feel at times, I'm made for something bigger than just going through life day to day, right? There's something more out there. There's something that I can do to change this world for a better place, because no matter if you're in an environment that's negative, it might be your home life, it might be finances, it might be somebody bullying, but you don't want that. Reality is God made us to be people, to be positive, to have tracks of mind that are going in the right direction and helping other people. And that's what you can do from where you're sitting right now. God made each and every one of you specific. And I remember being in high school and sitting on those bleachers right there. And I was listening to different people, but I felt a little uneasy, and let me tell you why. This is my story. I felt a little awkward because I just wasn't as cool as the kid to the right of me. I played all the sports, but I wasn't the All-American, right? And I wanted to be them. It's like I was almost that close to really being something, but I was never there. And then why did I feel that way? And I started getting a little bit older, and I realized the reason that God put that inside of me, and I had that feeling that I wanted to do something bigger, but I wasn't almost there, is because God didn't intend for me to be in that particular field. He wanted me to be in another field as I got older, which is elected official, to help the whole state of Alabama. Did I want that field when I first started going through school? No, I didn't even know I needed it. But I knew there was something inside of me that made me feel like I could do something bigger. Chances are you have that same feeling inside of you. God made you to have attributes, characteristics that are different than anybody else in this room or in this world. He gave you a gift to be who you are. And if you figure out what those gifts are and enhance those gifts, then you will go down the path that God wants you to go down, and you will make sure and you feel within inside that you're being fulfilled by using those gifts to the benefit of everybody around you. And so let me say that again. When you get gifts that God gave you in characteristics, and you use those to the benefit of others, not to yourself, then that is how, in the end, you will be fulfilled. So when people talk, just like everybody on these first couple rows that have been elected that are helping this community to be the best it possibly can be, they're doing something with the skill set that God gave them as adults to make your community better. I hope everyone in this room continues to understand how important these elected officials are and the pillars of strength of the volunteers that this community has, because without them, we would be in trouble. The question is, will you be a leader as you move through your life, as you move forward for this community? Now, I'm not going to say that you're going to be here your whole life. Chances are a lot of you are going to the military, going to work, going to a 4-year college, 2-year college. That is wonderful. But in the end, you're who you are because of the things that you've gone through. You've probably been through some bad stuff, and everybody does. You've probably been through some really good stuff that made you happy and made you smile. That's good. But let's say that you do that and you get an unbelievable job somewhere in, I don't know, we're going to make up something, Dallas, Texas. You make $1 million. My question to you is, always remember your roots and where you came from, because you sitting on these bleachers right here has helped form the person that you are, so that you can go out into the real world and make a difference in the real world once you leave this school, no matter where you go. And when you get to a point where you feel like, I've done really well, my charge to you is that you come back either with financial capability, with volunteer time, with some way to help your local community to say, I'm going to come back and make a difference there. But that's something I think all of us should be doing as we move forward. There's a quote that I have. I'm going to move this over real quick, Superintendent. Now, there is a difference as we move forward of power and influence. I've been trying to figure out for the last few years since I've been in the Alabama State Senate, the difference in the word power and the word influence. What I'm hoping that all of you have, and that you will have in the future to come back to help this community, is influence more than power. And let me tell you why. Influence means that over time, people will come to you to ask you for advice, and they believe in you. And so even when you're out of office or out of whatever field you go into, if people keep coming to you for advice because they trust you, that means you have influence and you're leaving a legacy from now on. All right, what's the difference in influence and power? Usually power comes with something that's financial. And when you have power, I'm in charge of the state's budget with 34 other senators. Any penny that is spent in the Alabama State Senate has to run through us. When I leave office, do you think the same people that are needing funding right now are going to come to me after I leave office? And that's going to be no, because I don't have control over that anymore. I don't have authority. But right now, I have a little bit of power, I have a little bit of influence, and I can make a difference, a lot of difference for the state. But really what I want for you and for me to be the best that we possibly can do is use the attributes that God gave you, so that when you don't have the power, people still come to you for influence, because you can still influence your communities and your friends and your families for a positive. Because that's the difference, is where you're leaving a legacy for this community. There's going to be times, guys, where you are right in the middle of a battle. And when you continue to do well, there's not going to be everybody around you that praises you all the time. These adults and these elected officials up here that have been through not only elections, but also just through life, they have gone and tried to accomplish certain goals. And they thought they were going, and everybody was behind them at times. But there's times where there's people that are against them. And it doesn't make any sense, because they're trying to do what's right for this community. But there's always some naysayers. And if all you have to do is just get on Facebook and you can see the naysayers, right? And then from that, even as adults, those don't stop. But I saw a quote the other night that I thought was great. So as you figure out what your goals are, where you are right now, where you want to go in the future, and you find the steps to get to that path, when those people start jumping out and being negative to you, and that quote says, one of your biggest assets is how you handle people that mishandle you. Again, I'm going to read that again. How you handle people that mishandle you. Revenge is easy. Anyone can clap back, but the real strength is rising above all of the chatter. Don't let their actions pull you out of your character. Don't let their actions pull you out of your character. So keep that in mind as far as how you handle the naysayers and the people that are negative in your life. Because this group up here, y'all are doing something that we haven't done. Y'all have had to deal with social media and digital your whole life. We didn't have that. I didn't anyway until I was out of college. I mean, I got back and got my first phone about 3 years after I was out of college. So y'all are dealing with stuff totally different than I am. But when people are trying to pull you down and not let you be the person that you're supposed to be, don't get in the mud and start slinging mud back with words. Rise above it. Keep your head about you. Stay solid. And make sure that you're doing the right thing that God would want you to do, not what we want to do, which is fight back, right? But always doing the right thing as we move forward. We have communities that we have tried to strengthen over time. And that has happened here. We're blessed to have a school board, community leaders, mayor, superintendents. We've got administration, teachers that care about you guys. You need to take advantage of that. And if you're going through something hard, make sure you have somebody to talk to, not only your friends, but other people. And as your friends, sometimes you don't want them to know everything that's going on, whether that's with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your family back home or what's going on. Find somebody. If you've got something, you are not the only person that has gone through what you're going through, and find somebody that can talk to you about it, because that's what the devil wants you to do, is feel like you're by yourself and you're the only person that's ever gone through it. You're not. You can do anything that you set your mind to. Building communities talks about engaging in life, ladies and gentlemen. And part of what we have to do is to take off what I call the headphones or the earbuds and set your phone down and engage with conversation. Engage with the personality of your friends, of your family. Learn about somebody that's different than you. Find somebody that you haven't talked to in school because you don't think that you have anything related to them, and sit with them next at school lunch, and ask them a question about themselves. If you want to be the best rounded person that you can be, you want to talk to everybody that is different than you, that is alike you, and that you can learn from, because you can learn from everyone. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter if you don't feel like you're smart. You can still learn from everyone in the room if you take the time to go do that and get to meet them. It's about being a better human being. It's about having the decency to take care of your neighbors and your friends. The greatest thing in the world is when people come into the State House. We have 35 senators that I'm in charge of. We have 105 House members that the Speaker of the House is in charge of. And there's 140 people that have to have the majority to agree on something before a law becomes law, right? Or the budget passes. Trying to get all of those people to agree on something is tough, because something that might help this district right here that I'm 100% for might have negative connotations and consequences on somewhere else in South Alabama that I've never thought about before. So instead of just trying to say, hey, we're doing this because I have the power to do it, I sit down with whoever that might be, whether that's across the aisle in the Democrats or not, and say, tell me how this affects you and tell me how we can make this a win-win. And by the end of a conversation, it opens my mind to realize not everybody has all the answers, and just because it's perfect for this district might be horrible for South Alabama in a particular district. And how do we work together on that? And just because people disagree with me at times doesn't mean that I'm upset with them. That means they have a difference of opinion. You have a personality that is unparalleled to anybody else in the world that God gave you. Because you disagree with somebody does not mean that y'all should be enemies. That means that you need to find out who they are, how you work with them, and how you come together. And again, if you really want to be a leader, to find out how you can be the best rounded leader in your environment that you're in right now, talk to people that aren't like you. Find out what makes them tick. Find out why they think the way they do. And as you do that over time, you're going to be the one that benefits from that, because you're going to be learning as well as you're teaching the other person. Things that happen to you in your life are tough, but they don't define you. It doesn't matter what's happened and how bad it was in your life. If you can think of something that is an instant that was an issue, that does not define you. You're defined by Jesus Christ and your relationship with Him. But you are not defined by an incident that happened negatively, whether you deserved it or whether you didn't deserve it. And chances are you didn't. But that's not who you are, and you don't ever need to think that's who you are. You have the power, you have the strength, you have the will from within to achieve any of your goals, guys. Whatever that might be, your wildest dreams can come true if you believe. I was blessed to have a mother that loved on me every day. My father was a good, huge, strong brute of a man, but he was really, really, really tough on me. And I didn't understand growing up why he just verbally abused me all the time, but he did. And during my time of growing up, I have now realized that all the verbal abuse that I went through growing up and the tough times of him making me cry and making me feel like I wasn't anybody was only getting me ready for where I am today. Dealing with the stress and the pressure of the whole state of Alabama on these shoulders. I don't ask God to lighten my load, I ask God to broaden my shoulders to handle that load. And whatever you're going through right now, no matter how bad it is, there is a learning opportunity in front of you of why you're going through it. So again, don't ever think that you're by yourself. Know that there's a reason that you're going through whatever you're going through. And know that you've got people here, especially the people here and your leaders right there in that lobby, that want to help in any way they possibly can to make your life the best that it can be. Again, my charge to all of you guys is once you get out in the real world, you come back and make this community better. We can't do it on our own. And I've always been a sports guy. I played football at Sanford University, was asked to come on in Auburn, and I told them no just to finish up school because I was late on my academics because I'd been playing ball. And in the end, I learned about teamwork. When you think that you can do something by yourself and accomplish something big, that is not true. And you need to remember, you're the one that has to work. You're the one that has to push to go do it and stay focused. But when you get people on your team to help you, it's like God is breathing a nice breeze and wind on your back and pushing you in that same direction. I can do a lot of stuff at the state government, right, with my position. But if I had all of these people right here on these first couple rows behind me, think how much we could do for this whole community. And that's what you have to think of as saying, we're going to make a team, and our team is going to be going in the right direction together. It's never about me or I, it's about us and we. One last thing as far as where you are in life, you have goals. You've got to know where you are right now. All right, that's a lot of information I gave you today. Just my goal was to make sure that you're encouraged and that you know you've got people and you've got a relationship with Jesus. But where you are in your life right now, you have got a decision starting today. And where you want to be at the end of this year, where you're going to be going to school, in the future, who you date, if you get married, if you don't get married, what you want to be doing with your life. But if you don't start now saying, okay, I don't know where I want to be in 5 years, but I know where I want to be next year, and you start making a little bit of progress each day to get there, you're not going to get there. When I was your age, I'd always think, hey, well, I'm going to be here one day and I want to be at this particular position. I didn't do anything to get there. I just thought it was going to show up one day. It doesn't. You have to work a little bit and progress a little bit each day to get to where you want to be. And if you realize that and you map out where you are, you will change the trajectory of your life till you're my age, right? But instead of just kind of doing like this, going through life, you are now on a straight trajectory of kind of where you're going and what you're doing. We're blessed to have people around us that support us, that love us. And if you don't, there are people there that do. And you've got to realize that you're not by yourself. My son is 22 years old, and I've got another son that's 19. And I'm not hip on all the terminology, but he's telling me what is my biggest flex, and I had to ask him what the world that meant, so he told me because I'm a little bit older than you guys. He calls me a boomer, is that right? A boomer, somebody? Is that what you call me? Okay. Anyway, he said, what is your biggest flex? And so I told him the other day, I said, I'm going to look at this, and I wrote some stuff down, and then I found a quote that made a difference, and I want you to let me read this, and then I'll be finished, all right? But my 22-year-old son, Tripp, said, Dad, what's your biggest flex? This is what I wrote. The real flex is how many lives you can positively impact. It's not about cars, it's not about necklaces, it's not about money, it's not about clothes, it's not about clout. Influence means nothing if you're not helping somebody grow. The legacy you leave won't be measured with what you had, but it's going to be measured by who you helped. Real power is when your presence inspires action. Real power is when your story is told and sparks change for other people. Real power is when your content shifts someone else's mindset and helps them to unlock a new level for themselves. If you want to be remembered, make people feel seen. Make people feel heard. Share what you've learned and always lift others up as you climb the ladder. The impact that you make on others will outlive every material thing that you chase. That's the difference between popularity and a purpose. I'm going to read that part again. The impact you make on others will outlive every material thing that you chase. That's the difference between popularity and purpose. You weren't called just to win, ladies and gentlemen. You were called to lead. And real leaders build more leaders. Real leaders build more leaders. Everybody that's in right here today wants you to be the leader that you're capable of being. You have potential to do anything you want to do in this world if you believe in yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. It's funny that I say those words because I went to the Ella Langley concert. Any of y'all go to that Morgan Wallen concert in Tuscaloosa the other night? You did? Yeah. She said the exact same thing on stage, and I loved it because I say it all of my speeches. But she said, you can do anything you put your mind to. I never was meant to be here. This is bigger than I thought I could handle, but God gave it to me, and I'm being able to manage it because He's with me. I just want y'all to know that we love you. Each and every one of you are unique, and I'm proud of you. Anything I can do at the state government, letters of recommendation, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want to help you grow, and the people that are here want to help you grow. As we work together, guys, we can accomplish amazing things for this community. But it's got to be all of us, and when you get to be my age, older, remember this community and come back and support, okay? Having said that, I want to say thank you to everybody that is up here that has allowed me to be part of this today and also part of the life over here in Marion County. Let me tell you, man, Marion County is special. It is potential for growth like nobody's seen in the state of Alabama, and I travel all over the state, but this particular area right here is unbelievable, and we can do it together. I want to say thank you for allowing me to come talk to y'all. Hopefully I didn't bore y'all too much, but I did get you out of class for a little while, so that's always a positive. But thank y'all for allowing me to come over here, and anything I can ever do for you guys, y'all let me know. And he was right. You can't complain and be upset about people that are elected officials, your locals or at the state or the federal, if you don't vote. That's the only duty that you have, is to be able to vote. You don't have to vote for me. If you don't like me, I'm not asking you to. But I do think you have to vote to make sure you understand that if you're not making a change and casting your vote, you don't need to be complaining. So help me support you guys and these people that are here supporting y'all. So thanks again for having me today. I appreciate you giving me the time, and thank y'all for allowing me to be here so much. Thank y'all so much.